To pile two, the adult duck feather. Now this feather is a little bit damaged, but I don't really like mind damage. Damage shows that it's been lived. What do you expect? Like it's a feather from a bird. Like of course, like it's lived life. It's been through some shit. I really do love the sheen on it. I wonder if I can get it. Like, you can kind of see it, but it's so much more visible when it's wet, but it's like green and purple. And that's giving heart chakra and like crown energy, crown to third eye. It depends on what you're thinking. All right, so the first card is Downcast Pride. There's a lot of thorns in this one, isn't there? Or no, it's just vines. It's vines. Now, Downcast Pride isn't what you think. This card is actually about like always making excuses to bend because you've turned it into a habit. It's basically like, oh yeah, well, I'll just, give up my pride because, I don't want to have any kind of conflict with these people or deal with that. Let me check the stage of grief. Depression. Yeah. So, this is depression. Basically, like suppressing yourself because maybe something, because like depression, they say depression is you like looking on the past, and maybe something in the past happened the last time you actually stood up for yourself, or someone made you feel bad, because pride is often seen as like one of the seven deadly sins, but we say things like, I take pride in my work. If that's truly like, if truly pride is only a sin, then we wouldn't say things like, I take pride in myself, in my work. Like, it's okay to have pride, just not so much so that you just feel like you need to stomp all over everybody else, and that you get this superiority complex, and then it can become a detriment, because then you're like hurting other people, or like diminishing other people's accomplishments, or even like hurting yourself trying to keep up this level of appearance, and it's just not that. So you don't want to have too much pride, but you don't want to be too flimsy either. And the thing about like vines that I see in this is that like vines form around whatever's closest. So you could just be masking to like the people that are around you, and like shifting, like code switching is what we call it in my community. So you could be just like adjusting to everybody else around you, and not just because, okay, well, this particular friend group is like this or that. It's more you're adjusting to the people around you because you need them, or you want them to like you or to continue to interact with you. So you're kind of more diminishing who you really are just to fit into these groups, rather than just speaking their language. Like, it's okay to speak their language, but you don't want to change the core of who you are with them to the point where you're constantly hiding, because you're just going to build resentment and like anger, and just have a whole lot of unexplained stuff going on internally, until you realize that I am not happy here because I can't fully express myself. You want to be around people that can actually understand you. And so, in order to be around people who actually understand you, you have to give them the chance to understand who you really are. And in order to do that, you have to not bend every time somebody looks like they might not like something that you're presenting. It doesn't matter. It's more important that you like what you're presenting than it does what everybody else likes. you have to give them the chance to like or dislike you and be okay with it either way. And the only way anybody is going to actually like you for who you are is if you're actually being who you are. There are plenty of people in this world. You do not need to bend or diminish yourself for anyone. Okay, and for your guide messages, or what did I say? Spirit people messages. It says heart-to-heart conversations, honesty, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So if you feel like you can't honestly discuss your feelings with the people that you're around, reach out to your guides and see if, you can express to them how you actually feel about your current situation and who you are. Like, you can learn a lot from those conversations, even if you don't immediately hear anything back, or you're not the type to like be able to actually pinpoint those messages. Get really quiet. Just let the world go quiet. If you have to, pull up a song. Like, pull up your playlist and call out to your guides and say, hey, I need some kind of like sign that you're here or whatever, and like hit a shuffle on a playlist and listen to that song that comes up. Sometimes it can just be a single lyric, and sometimes it can be the entire song. It's really what you feel. So definitely, if you can't have conversations with the people in front of you, start with your guides first. If you can get honest with your guides, because they're not going to judge you. They're here to help you. They're not going to judge you. So you don't have to worry about them just being like, oh, this person's crazy. They're just a measly little human worried about stupid human problems. They're not like that. So really, like, take that time, and if you talk to them, you will start to notice the signs. Even outside of this stillness, you can start to notice the signs. Like, just pay close attention to the world around you especially when you're outside, and start looking that up. And your self-care message is sleep meditation. Now, there's a lot of like subliminals, and like what I've been listening to lately is like some rampages of like self-concept, just hyping yourself up. Like, I am just so amazing. I'm a wonderful human being. I stand in my power, stuff like that. So definitely look up like rampages, and like I let my guides choose what the next thing is going to be, because the rampages that I'm listening to only last like 30 minutes. And so my guides end up actually choosing a chakra. And from the looks of this card, it looks like you really need to work on your heart chakra more so, because with heart-to-heart conversations and that energy of like the heart chakra that I got from the green, because the green is more dominant in this feather than the purple is. So definitely I would recommend heart chakra, but you can also like kind of like pull up some meditations and see what feels right for you. Because if you're having trouble like expressing yourself, like in knowing who you are and stuff, that's between like heart chakra and solar plexus. I believe the sacral is also the I am of the three, but I'm feeling more heart chakra energy. Like you need to get into the feel of who you are more so than anything. All right, I hope that helped.